co dělá léto létem. Své brány fanouškům znovu otevře sluncem zalitá pražská Štvanice. Ikonický chrám s elektrizující atmosférou pod otevřeným nebem bude opět tím místem, kde se na přelomu léta střetnou ti nejlepší a nejatraktivnější zápasníci domácí scény. Ledové drinky, místa doslova na dosah dění v kleci a další pokračování příběhů vašich oblíbených bojovníků slibují jediné. Zážitek, na který budete opět vzpomínat celý rok. Akce, kterou si nechcete nechat ujít. Lístky v prodeji právě teď v síti Ticketportal.
Herzlich willkommen erstmal an alle Kämpfer. Schön, dass ihr da seid.
Für euch geht es um den Finaleinzug am 4.6. bei OKTAGON 33 und um den Titel des ersten OKTAGON Challenge Champions in Deutschland.
Also deswegen, wenn mich jemand fragt, sage ich gar nicht einmal, dass ich Kampfsport mache oder Kampfsport trainiere. Ich lebe das.
Wir machen das leidenschaftlich, wir machen das aus Liebe, weil wir diese Träume wollen.
We are ready for the first final of OKTAGON Challenge in Germany.
2 fighters dropped out from the roster of 8 fighters. Hassan Shaaban and Selim Topuz.
Hassan Shaaban is one of the most aggressive new talent fighter in OKTAGON what you can meet.
As the only fighter in history of all challenges, he fought 3 times in basic part of the show, and he showed us there is a big warrior inside of his heart.
MMA ist nicht einfach nur geschlagen, das ist Disziplin, Kopfsache, Stärke, Herz haben. Du lernst so viel in diesem Sport, das kann keiner glauben. Eine sehr große Chance für mich. Ich finde, die sind genau richtig hier in Deutschland. Ich habe harte Schläge, harte Fäuste. Ich werde im Käfig auf jeden Fall richtige Granaten abgeben.
However, Selim Topuz is his exact opposite.
A very calm, like Zen kind of fighter. Will have support of the gym that produced many UFC fighters and big names of German, Austrian MMA scene.
Ich wollte einfach nur verstehen, wie lebt ein Kämpfer. Mich hat nur interessiert diese Kunst dahinter und dann habe ich begonnen zu leben.
He has sacrificed absolutely everything to the martial arts. And this is his real last chance to get himself between European elite.
Ich werde den Kampf gewinnen, weil ich das lebe. Da muss Hassan noch sehr viel trainieren, dass er auf mein Level kommt. Du musst sehr hart trainieren, sehr, sehr hart. Das ist kein Kinderspiel.
And this is the fight that can change their whole lives.
For both men is the opportunity to become first OKTAGON Challenge champion, something incredible. One of them will have to be the first. Who it will be? We are about to find out.
I'm gonna break you down.
So what a moment. We are set to witness the culmination of months of these young men's lives and a very untraditional build-up for these men coming into a fight. They've not been away to prepare for an opponent in their own gyms for 8-12 weeks. They have been living in the same house. They have been eating at the same table. They have been training in the same gyms, crossing over between each other, not knowing that the fight finale would culminate in these 2 guys facing off. Now we have this guy, Selim, and he's a fascinating character. He said in his VT there, he wanted to look at the life of fighting and then live it, and he does that. He's a very, very mentally strong fighter, and he uses a lot of psychological tricks in his preparation, one of which is meditation. He meditates and pretends he is walking up a mountain, struggling to get to the top of that mountain, and when he gets there, he screams. He screams in his mind, he lets everything out, all the frustration, the anxiety, and he does that minutes, seconds before he makes the walk. He says that releases him, that releases the inner Ronin within him. So when you see a fighter like this, because we see lots, right? We see guys that just love to fight, we see athletes, but when you see somebody that embodies martial arts, that excites me.
I agree with you. It's definitely something more alley. I think that just it really makes a guy dangerous when he just lives it head to toe. It's what he reads, what he thinks, what he dreams about, what he talks about. It's his interests, it's his dislikes. I mean, it's everything. When you live that lifestyle, I just think it makes for a much more complete martial artist, a much more dangerous foe. And on the flip side of it, though, it makes it that much more stressful when you're not successful. When you put this much into your dreams and hearts, you have to succeed, and that's the drive that he's going to have. Because to fall short, to have all your life surround itself with this, failure is so much more detrimental that it gives you that much more drive.
So Selim Lee, one half of our Octagon Challenge finale, is inside the cage. Let's welcome his opponent. And here he comes, Hassan Diaz Shaaban. My goodness, he has rose to fame within this TV show. 20 years old, Frank, 20 years old. And within the fight, we talked about it on the VT, he's the first fighter in Octagon Challenge history. That's not just Germany, but that's the Czech Republic, Slovakia as well, to have 3 fights to earn his spot. He didn't have to have 3 fights in the second round. An opponent fell out for one of the other opponents, and he said, I'll step in. They told him if he loses, then he loses his spot in the semi-final. He said, I don't care, I'm here to fight. That's what I'm here to do. That is who I am. He stepped in, he won that fight. He then won his semi-final. All 3 wins by finish. And right now, right here at 20 years of age, that mountain that was in front of him weeks ago is now a reality because the cage door is open and he is set to walk in there to change his life.
It's an incredible opportunity given to him, and again, it shows the mindset of a warrior that he has. That he didn't hold back. He didn't take the safe route. He didn't take the path more traveled, right? He decided to go ahead and take that other fight with all the risks that come of it. We've seen tonight. Anything can happen when you step in there. The better fighter is not guaranteed a victory, and that's just, it's like life, you know? The better person doesn't always win. It doesn't always get what they deserve. Bad people don't always get crime sentences. It doesn't always work that way. There's no guarantees in anything. There are percentages, and the percentage can be in his favor to do well. But the fact he took that shows that just a resilient warrior-like mentality to step in there, and because he could be winning the fight and the guy falls the wrong way and slices him with an elbow, stitches, he's out, fight's over with, you know? And so to be able to just look past all that and just want to perform, just want to fight, says something about him.
Yeah, 100%. And you look at that character, it's not just been carved by martial arts, but a life outside that. Grew up without a father, and he said his biggest achievement is growing up without a father, yet still becoming a man, all by himself, all grown up, inside the cage. These are our 2 finalists. Selim Lee Topuz versus Hassan Diaz. 20 versus 34. 14 years the older, the more experience on the side of Topuz, but the odds in the favor of Shaaban as we get set and ready for this contest. The finale of Octagon Challenge TV is upon us. The weeks, the months of the show finally culminate in this moment, an opportunity to change one of these young men's lives. Let's get it underway. Andre Novotny is in the cage. Let's pass it to him now.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout is Octagon Challenge Final, welterweight, 5 round 5 minutes. Let me present you both finalists. First, in the blue corner, he is 34 years old. He stands 177 centimeters tall, and he weighs in at 76.75 kilos. He represents Clan of Ronin, and the coach in his corner is Altan Ismailov. He has a professional record of 8 fights, 5 in, 5 submissions, and 3 losses. Fighting out of Austria, Selim Lee Topuz. In the red corner, he's 20 years old. He stands 182 centimeters tall, and he weighs in at 77 kilos. He represents UFD Gym. And the coaches in his corner are Ivan Diakovic, Roberto Soldic, and Leozada Nogueira. He has a professional record of 3 fights, 3 wins, and 3 finishes. Representing Neruda Cup Kolop team and fighting out of Germany, Hassan Diaz Shaaban.
Congratulations, gentlemen, on making it to the finals. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Back touch gloves, back to the corner.
A touch of gloves, an intense stare down. 5-minute rounds. The Octagon Challenge. Germany Season 1 finale upon us. Topuz in the white shorts, blue corner, Hassan, Diaz, Shaaban. In the black shorts, red corner, me, Bryan Lacey, alongside Frank Mir calling this action. And Frank in straight away, southpaw versus orthodox. Shaaban, the heavy favorite here, I think, because people have seen him do so much in this journey through Octagon, but do not underestimate Topuz, right? He's got a good skill set.
And that is just human nature. The most relevant last thing that you see is what you're aware of, you know? It's what the old adage, you're only as good as your last 5 minutes, and that's because that's what's current. And I mean, I've seen it happen to many fighters, you know? They're a top 5 guy, and like they're there, you know, ready for that spot for a title shot. Some guy who's top 10 has a really highlight finish fight, and all of a sudden like, oh, well, he's gonna skip you. Well, what do you mean? Well, you know, we haven't seen you fight for 6 months. We just saw him fight. Now the champ's ready for a fight 2 months later. Like, we're going to put him in the slot because he's the most recent relevant thing. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're the better fighter. It just, again, it's human nature. And so right now I feel like a lot of that, you know, Shaaban being the favorite. So, you know, at that point, it's just, you know, again, that, you know, Topuz had a different route to victory to be here at this opportunity.
Shaaban, some good shots there. The blitz attack particularly well. Now Topuz looks to switch it up.
That was a great stoppage of the takedown. Holy cow.
Oh! Look at the aggressive strikes coming from Shaaban. This is him 101.
That was incredible, the stoppage. How he turned angles and came over.
And again, Frank, 20 years of age. Such a talent at that young point.
Nice frame. I mean, this frame is heavy, hard, it's turning. He landed some good shots there. It really hurt Topuz there. And Topuz kept his resiliency and was able to go there. He's turning the corner so well there.
Well, one of his main training partners is the one and only Long Ali Eskiev. And for me, one of the biggest talents, most exciting fighters on the scene. Over there at the UFD gym. Topuz, though.
Man, Shaaban is very difficult to take down. That was an impressive defense. Hips, flip inside.
Technical.
Movement, very.
Yeah.
And, you know, Topuz definitely was doing a lot of the things right. Great pressure, hands connected, good angle on the hips. It just, Shaaban was just one step faster, a little bit quicker on the exchanges.
Look how light he is on his feet. And again, really fighting up a weight class. Would traditionally be down a weight, down into lightweight.
Now, Shaaban is definitely seems like he has some thickness advantage, but I think also too.
The step-in hooks. He's getting good success with those.
That was a nice lead hook cross combination, and then he came right back. And now, even though he got stunned there, good head movement.
Yeah, Topuz is extremely well-versed in all areas. You look back at his fight in the Challenge House, he beat Simeon in his fight there, and it was a body shot, Frank. It was actually a kick to the liver that ended that fight. Oh!
Yeah, that's a dangerous inclination that Topuz has shown now twice, whereas Shaaban comes running forward with that jumping knee and moving forward, and he just drops his head right in that line. And it's a dangerous place for a wrestler for taking a shot, not a wrestler, just for anybody to take a shot. You can't put your head on that center line. You know, if you shoot a head inside single, your shoulder's going, you know, towards that lead leg, and your head might seem like it's on there, but your impotence is driving to the outside. Your shoulder is the outside of that leg, the head inside single. Oh! But when you shoot that down the middle like he is, where it's like a double, basically his head's driving down the middle, it's just dangerous. We've seen, you know, kicks, knees, you know, uppercuts, you name it. A lot of the most powerful things a man can throw goes right up that center line, and you're driving your face into it.
They're causing multiple problems for Selim Topuz in this first round. His movement is so fluid, Frank.
Yeah. Extremely fluid.
And even his control of range, the little bits of footwork in and out, the lateral movement as well, always means that Topuz, who is already at a reach and height disadvantage, has to really work twice as hard to get inside to make anything come off.
Well, and also, too, this is where you see guys at home, and I'll point this, okay, watch this kid move around. He's not wasted movement. A lot of the guys we've seen earlier tonight who run on the outside, who get on their bike, a lot of wasted movement. They're running, but they're not accomplishing anything. You see Shaaban, it's smooth, it's relaxed, but he's gaining lines. Wow, he just held back on that one. That could have been vicious. You know, he's creating angles. He moved, he's got an outside line, moving in and out, and then he moves in so smoothly. I think that's probably what the problem Topuz is not, it's not setting off his alarm. Most people, when they come in, there's a herky-jerky sprint, a change in their posture, their mannerism.
Almost
he's just moving and floating. Right? Now all of a sudden he's floating towards him, and then comes the flying jump knee. And I don't think that's setting off the alarms on defense for Topuz, and that's why it's getting in so smoothly.
So with Topuz now having to unravel that puzzle that's in front of him, I mean, we know he's got the weapons. All 5 of his victories he's won by finish, 4 knockouts, 1 submission. But what does he need to do? How do you deal with not just this sort of pressure, but it is really the movement he's struggling with, right? He's really struggling with where the fight is taking place, because he's chasing that ground and he's never able to capitalize.
Well, for as smooth as what Shaaban is doing on the outside, he moves forward in a straight line. So I would throw punches from there. If I was Shaaban's corner, like, hey, when he comes in next time on that straight line, step off of it with your lead leg and throw a backside hook. Or an overhand shot, because he's going to have his head straight up and down. He's moving towards your center. Don't run backwards in a straight line, and don't change levels. Step off the line and throw a punch, and you're going to tackle.
Off he goes right away, straight away, charging across the cage. Shaaban with that jump knee attack. Shaaban in the black shorts, red corner. Topuz in the white shorts, blue corner. Mir Bryan Lacey alongside Frank Mir, calling this finale fight. 5 rounds it's scheduled for.
Yeah, but if you watch, when Topuz goes on defense, he only blocks. He has his hands up, he's blocking, moving around. See right there, like there's no counterpunch, right? So it's kind of like he has offense, and then defense is just block, block, block. And I don't know if sometimes that's from bad training, where you have a training partner that they go and then you go. And that can be a drill, but he's sparring right now like that. He's fighting that way. He's like, when it's my turn to go, I go. And when it's your turn to go, I'm not going to hit you back. I'm just going to block and not get hit. And it almost looks like he's drilling right now. And that could be from too much drilling.
Oh, nice combination. Good uppercut from Shaaban then. And again, Shaaban, when Topuz went for the takedown, excellent defense, circled out from the cage, made space, and then got those shots off.
Yeah, that was a smooth, quick, fast uppercut, too, that Shaaban threw. Beautiful there. See, look, he used his movement there. He got the outside lane. He wanted that outside foot. He's circling out. He stops for a second, comes back in, readjusts. That's a lot of dancing there, a little bit, you know what I mean? But there's an objective in his mind there. See, even that cross step to the outside was to get the outside lane. He's trying to get that outside edge so that he can go ahead and control with the hooks and throw punches down the center with a center clean line.
Topuz still trying to find a way into the fight.
Topuz needs to throw more than 1 strike. See what he does? He throws a punch, boom, then he stops. Or he'll throw, and then he runs in. If he just keeps his feet under him and throws combinations and moves forward, then he could change levels and shoot. And when he does, his feet will be under him. But right there, see, when he goes into defense mode, I don't see any attacks. And that's allowing Shaaban to basically get off free. He can throw his attacks knowing that, all right, I can throw my attacks and get out of here.
Oh, and another right hand comes down the middle. I do like the body kick coming from Topuz. Yes. He's had a bit of success with that. You can even hear the connection. But it's a single shot, Frank.
There he goes. Look, he ran all the way in a straight line backwards. He let Shaaban have all that forward pressure and nothing. And it'd be very hard for him to become victorious, giving away such real estate like that.
Circling again on the outside, Shaaban. Oof.
And a lot of his counters are counter to a shot. You saw right there, he changed levels, and his impotence was to reach with his hands, not throw a punch. And right now, I agree with you, that's his money shot. Because that roundhouse off the backside, his left roundhouse to the body right now has had the most success for him.
And when you see Orthodox versus Southpaw, there is always those rear shots, but there is an anatomical advantage, right, if you are the guy that is in Southpaw, because your kick comes up to the liver side of the guy in Orthodox. So real advantage as far as a target. We saw it in the Ekelin fight. Once you hit and connect with that liver, your body gives up.
Yeah, I mean, going back to that, it was impressive on Ekelin to take that liver shot. I mean, you saw how bad it hurt him. For 2 or 3 minutes, he wasn't normal. And then after the second groin shot, he had a few more minutes to recover, and then he got it back, which that's not easy, guys. I'm telling you at home, like when you take a bad liver shot, it hurts.
Yeah, add a cup kick to that as well.
Yeah.
Not a recipe for a...
it was one of the few times you'd be glad you got hit in the groin, I guess, because it gave him some time to take a break. I can't think of many, but that might be one of the few times I'd be like, when was it advantageous to take a groin shot? Well, let me tell you.
1 minute left of this second round. The other side of this, Frank, as well, we're talking about fighters young in their careers, growing, climbing this ladder. This is a 5-round fight. Neither of these have been involved in a professional contest with that sort of time frame. Should it go that distance?
Yeah, that's crazy. Good job of getting his hand out.
Oh, he's holding that Kimura. He's let it go. Topuz try and take advantage of this, but he's not got much time. He's only got 35 seconds. Works his way inside the guard somehow.
Yeah, it's interesting that, you know, Topuz, you know, I like the tenacity to go for it. You know, hey, that's up my alley. I like that. Fights are not to be won by decision. I think that at the end of the day, I mean, to me, I'm trying to knock you out or choke you out. And if I couldn't within the allotted amount of time, then the referee decides who wins, you know? But if you're fighting for a referee's decision, I think you picked the wrong sport. And so guys going for submissions like that, I like on Shaaban's part. But when he fell down there, it was interesting. Topuz just to jump down into his guard.
Yeah, straight down into that top position for the last 30 seconds of that round. 2 rounds down, it still feels like the puzzle that is Shaaban is causing a lot of issues for Topuz, but with potentially 3 rounds left, Frank. I mean, this is a long game fight, right? And again, you're in there, you're still having a fight, you're having to defend, you're attacking. But will that be a factor? We won't find out until the end of the fight, but it's so interesting when you think about their experience, because they've never been in that sort of deep water.
Really nice jump in. You see the cross there.
Oh,
wow, he walked right in. See, and there that was Topuz jumping. His inclination is to grab, you know, and Shaaban is extremely well-rounded. I mean, he uses frames, he uses clinches when he has to. That was a nice, you know, what do I call it? A poke to the midsection when you were, you know.
Teep, yeah?
Teep, yeah, thank you.
I can give you technical advice, don't worry about it. That's ridiculous.
I agree. Hey, man, the names of stuff I always need help with. But here was the takedown that came off that failed Kimura attempt. But again, there's you know, Topuz has a lot of great tools, guys. I really see a potential for him growing. It's just that there's some holes right now that he has that are typical of a young fighter that Shaaban, honestly, for his experience level and where he is, shocking that he doesn't have them. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, his footwork, his understanding of molding between the arts. You were watching MMA
right now.
Right?
It's the put, and you always talk about that. I mean, we could say sentences in separate ways, but it's the way he forms these paragraphs of violence that I really do enjoy watching him put
Beautifully
together.
put. That's what it is. He understands how to put it together. He's not a wrestler. He's not a kickboxer. He's not a jiu-jitsu guy. This is a martial artist. He's a fighter. He's MMA. This is what all guys doing MMA should, you know, aspire towards, is to go ahead and be a fluid fighter from throwing a punch to a takedown to a submission hold. It's like, what is it? I'm like, it's fighting. It's whatever piece of the puzzle needs to be put in right at the moment.
But Topuz always dangerous. Heavy shots, liver kick finishes.
Yeah, see, there he's doing a little bit better. See, now, that was multiple punches coming behind his hands. He kept his feet under him. He needs to do more of that. Throwing punches, moving his feet, keeping his hips, keeping that triangle I spoke of earlier. Keep the triangle with him. Sometimes he dives and his shoulders go over his knees, and once he does that, it's hard to defend yourself, and it's hard to change directions or change gears. Beautiful straight left hand. See, he kept his hips under him. I like how he wasn't greedy afterwards either, just dove in on a shot. Keep setting that up. Now I would add a hook to it. All right, now next time I come in, if I land that, boom, here comes the hook. Here comes the body shot. Then look for the takedown, or a level change first and then come back up.
But certainly,
those are menacing.
Not a single reaction as well coming from Topuz, eating those But those are the type of shots you talk about where you are putting money in the bank, right?
Yes.
You keep working that midsection, those teeps build up.
Yeah, the teep is just it's a good stiff teep to the body. It just sucks, you know, because it's quick, it's explosive. It's like a snap kick, but you're doing it with the ball of your foot. It's not a traditional thrusting type of motion where you shove the guy back. You know, a lot of guys see in Muay Thai where they pick the knee up above the foot, they drive forward to push a guy backwards. The teep, they're not trying to move you. I'm trying to just stab you basically with the ball of your foot, drive your organs in. And they build up. I mean, and one can drop you. I've been dropped in practices before, luckily not in a professional fight with one. But if the ones that caught me in practice would have caught me there, it would have been the end of the night, you know? Just lucky enough that it didn't happen then.
Topuz as well keeps going to that body kick, gone again.
Yes.
And you watch the elbow, Shaaban, it is staying to that midsection. If Topuz mixed it up and then took that high feint with the kick to the body and took it high, that could be a problem shot as well for Shaaban.
Yeah, starting to... and I like the positioning, the foot. There's so many things I like about Topuz. It just lines it, just a few, like, you're right. He's speaking in broken English right now, you know, as far as... And right there, see, you move back. You got a guy running towards you, feet switching over and over. That's bad technique on Shaaban's part. Like, honestly, like, if I was coaching, like, hey, let's not do that anymore.
Well, then he went upstairs. Do you see that?
Yeah. You're going to get caught with a hellacious backside hook, you know, something off, you know, just a haymaker, and you're going to run right into it, you know? And that's really all Topuz has to do. A left haymaker, you know, just a left hook off the backside right now. Just step your foot off the line and fire it. And his head's not moving over. He's going to be straight up and down, and you're not going to move your head towards his knees, and that way you just crush the jaw.
1 minute, 20 seconds left in this third round. Oh, and more success from Topuz in this one.
Yeah, I actually give him this round. And I think some of those body shots are starting to eat up on Shaaban because we're starting to see a little bit more trigger shy.
That was nice timing on the entry there.
Wow, it's just hellaciously difficult to take down.
Ridiculous.
Wow, that's impressive on his part, Topuz. He was able to get the hand across the body. He's in a guillotine position, but if he could just get his head up.
Yeah, his head's coming out there.
He's good. Control that left arm of Shaaban. Drive his head to that right ear, left ear, and just drive him to the mat. At least he can, moral victory, a legitimate takedown he's earned this time, not like the first one that he got where basically it was a failed Kimura attempt from Shaaban who just kind of sat on his butt afterwards.
But you look at that in terms of progression with success in the fight as it's evolved. You struggle round 1 or 2. You can build on it. Yeah, exactly.
It's exactly what I would say to Topuz to come to the corner. We're building on that. That's great. You know, we're slowly establishing. First round, we couldn't get him. Second round, got a little closer. Third round, we finally landed some shots. We landed a lot of body shots, and we got the takedown.
Oh, solid up kick there. My goodness, Topuz ate that.
Yeah, I think he was successful with not knocking him out because it wasn't the heel kick coming up, but more of a stabbing axe kick coming down, which doesn't have the same weight on it. It still hurts. But, I mean, you get caught with one of those up kicks where guys basically leg pressing his foot up. Most of the time, those are fight ending, if not fight dramatically altering.
Looking into the corner there, you'll see David Zavada, one of the coaches who coached Shaaban all the way through that series, giving him some advice. Body language-wise, though, some fatigue. Oh, and obviously we're 3 rounds into a fight, stepping into rounds 4 and 5. But certainly some fatigue showing, and there we have the kick going upstairs rather than to the midsection.
Yeah. Nice jab, and he slid out again, sliding in again with that left hand. That roundhouse in the body is money for him. Topuz needs to stick to it and just work it more. I would start to also implement, see that punch right there that he threw, that left hook off the backside, if he did that on the defensive side instead of that, that I don't like. That's dangerous. That'll get him in trouble, you know, in fights. And here you can see the foot coming down, not up, which I'm not going to say was pleasant, but obviously it wasn't the end of the night.
But look at the switch in the odds there. A complete flip from 1 to 4 for Shaaban. Now flipping the other way for Topuz, sorry. Oh.
Yeah, look, he brought
look
both
at how
shins up.
loose he looks. Look at how confident Topuz is. My goodness. And that whole time we're watching rounds 1 and 2 with Shaaban moving You're kind of thinking, how does Topuz get in the fight? Just stay there, right? Just stay confident, believe in yourself, make those little improvements round by round, minute by minute. And here we're staring at a very close contest now in round 4, the championship rounds, as it were, Frank. Walking down his man. Trying to close that cage off. No, if you're Topuz, would you, I mean, he's giving, oh, the entry again, Frank. We didn't set that up, there was nothing before that one. But if you're Topuz, would you look to add pressure to this now? Because there was a visible change in the pace coming from Shaaban in that third round.
If you don't need to take your break yourself, then absolutely. And I think I would only add it, and it's just, you know what? Those midsection kicks are working. I like you keeping them honest by firing them up tall. I would say start beating them up in the legs also, you know what I mean? Not just always having to go for the midsection. So I would keep it as a multi-pronged weapon. It's like, hey, look, that left kick's awesome, so let's go ahead and add to it. Let's build on it so we keep it and start throwing other things in there that line up with it so that we can keep them guessing. Sometimes we go into the middle, which hopefully that's our best one that we want to land. Let's go ahead and also go to the inside of the thigh, and then we'll go up top too. And right here, he just needs to...
Oh, if he can capitalize on this takedown attempt, got to avoid these up kicks again. Drives his way into the guard here. Now, he had some time in the guard, not long in the first round, at the end of the first round, but now 2 minutes, 40 seconds to play with, Frank. Would you look to see him really push to progress this position or beat him up from inside?
I think you should go ahead and beat him up from inside for a little bit here. Go ahead and drive us back to the cage, and let's go ahead and make sure we work from here and catch your breath, score points, you know, stay on top of the judge's eyes. Now, that clap means let's start working. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you had enough time, man. You caught your breath. You got your ability to be on top for a second, but we don't want the fight starting up on his feet from this position. Why give up the takedown? You know, we got down. Let's go ahead and capitalize. And he can drive his hips forward here, stand up with that left leg. He either needs to go over the knee, or if he goes under it, it's still not a bad idea because it stacks him up. Just watch the Kimura attempt, which good on him, actually, because that's going to be very hard for Shaaban to pull off, and really it's a bad decision to make there. You don't want to go for a Kimura with your back against the cage. Where are you going to take the guy?
Yeah, you got no space.
You got no space.
Yeah.
So at best it stalemates, but it also, it holds you down. So now he has both hands, instead of putting a hand on the mat and using that left hand to grab the wrist or to frame and try to work his way up, he's grabbing, you know, the arm of Topuz. It's like, well, now you're stuck on the mat. And both your hands wrapped around one of mine. And if Topuz wanted to go ahead, I would just, if I was him, I would use my thigh to block my hand that you're attacking. And now my other hand closest to your legs is free. It's going to be, I'm going to rain some elbows down on your rib cage.
Shaaban making some space there. Again, threatening with these up kicks, looking for that sweep. Oh, drops it down. A big shot from Topuz as he comes back into the guard. Oh, looking for the triangle. Topuz very aware of that. Good awareness to avoid that leg coming up and over. You talk about digging deep, Frank. It is going to be a real gut. Oh, that right hand. Again, the mouthpiece is out of Shaaban now.
Yep, Shaaban is starting to wilt a little bit.
He gives him back his mouthpiece. Surprised he could let him come back to his feet. But now Shaaban coming forward.
Yeah, that was actually mental error on Topuz's part. He let him come
Too nice.
Being too nice.
Yeah.
Quinn got his mouth and stood up, and hey, Shaaban's like, I'm jumping up to my feet.
Yeah, I'll take that. Oh, ducks under the spinning back fist. There's some urgency now about Shaaban. Final 10 seconds of round number 4.
Yeah, I'd have to try to tell myself not to scream at him right now if I was too. I was just wondering, like, what
did you do?
Doing?
So now we have 1 round, 5 minutes for one of these young men to claim the title, to claim a contract that could change their lives. I mean, already fighting on this card, fighting this high up on the card. So many eyes on the octagon cage now, and you can see urgency in the corner there of Shaaban. A much more sedate, focused corner there in Topuz, but both have to realize it's close, right?
Yes, I think that Topuz definitely has won the last 2 rounds. You know, in the first 2 rounds, I thought probably went to the direction. I might have it right now. I think that I feel from what my memory goes, and that's, you know, a spur of the moment. I mess that up sometimes. I'm thinking this is 2-2.
I 100% agree with that.
I mean, that right hand he came down and knocked. I mean, that was a epic shot to land on his feet here. Here he comes down with the right hand, boom, and then the mouthpiece ripped out of his mouth. And the only mistake he made was he went and got it. So here's the right hand, Bing. Is that where the mouthpiece shot up?
It was just the one after this. It was one where he dives into the guard. That's the one.
That's
there
the one
you go. You can see it.
Then he gets up and goes and leaves him. I'm like, no, what are you doing? But hey, I like Shaaban's mentality. He wasn't sitting there waiting for him to figure out he made a mistake. He jumped up as he was grabbing the mouthpiece. He didn't sit there and take it and go, okay, we can go back down to the position we were originally at.
So the tip spot odds slightly more even still. It's slightly in favor of Topuz as we step into the 5th and final round of the Octagon Challenge Season 1 finale here in Germany.
Well, this is where the pieces connected. Topuz is actually the better fighter in the box. You know what I mean? Like, as far as just, if they fight in front of each other, no footwork, and they just go. Shaaban had the better footwork. He was able to create angles and movements, and that in and out created some frustration for Topuz at the beginning. Once that started to get negated and a little bit of fatigue started setting in and those bodies started eating up, now that he's slowed down in front of him, now Topuz has been able to score a lot more and increase his efficiency in his attacks. Head movement and then no attack afterwards. Come on, Topuz. And Shaaban needs to be careful when he comes in on a straight line tall like that.
But you can see that footwork has pretty much disappeared from Shaaban.
Yep, and stab. And also, too, there might be an urgency on his part.
Oh, that's nice.
Yep, beautifully tagged. He sat there, loaded up the right hand, looking for it, right? As soon as Topuz started to go ahead and fire and he didn't throw anything in front of that left hand, he's trying to tag him with the right hand. That cross right down the middle, which is a great counter. If you throw a roundhouse out the rear side from an open stance, throwing that cross, it's fast to the point. You just have to make sure you pull the trigger, because if you don't, you are exposed and you're going to get your ribs crushed. You can't be late.
Speaking of ribs crushed, that side kick to the midsection, right into the diaphragm there from Topuz. Very nice indeed. Oh, jump knee.
And there was a left hand. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That was smart on his part. That actually took a little bit off that knee, and I think that's why we're seeing Shaaban dance a little bit right there. I think that shot actually caught him. He's a tough guy, though. See, I like that low stuff. Shaaban needs to go ahead and, again, just work the jab and work those stabs, those teeps down the middle. Look to line up that knee. Nice. He just runs forward and no attack. Both of them. What are you guys doing?
Shout louder, Frank, shout louder.
Well, I got one guy running and another guy in a straight line. I'm like, don't do that. And the other guy not making him pay for it.
That was a nice couple of shots there from Topuz as well, connecting, stiffening up Shaaban slightly. 2 minutes 20 left now in this 5th and final round. Nice jab,
crisp jab. Yeah, that's a beautiful jab there for Shaaban. He pushed off the back foot, snapped it. Too many people don't realize that. They throw a jab and they step forward with their lead foot. They step into the jab. Like, no, you push off your rear leg and you drive, and you're stepping to not fall over, basically. That should be the impotence. So you're popping your hips forward and you drive, and then you have to catch your balance with that lead foot that then pulls your energy back.
And that's when the weapon can become even more damaging, right? Because you can generate that power, and especially if they're stepping in. It's a very, very solid, damaging shot. Nice right hand, left hand, sorry, from Topuz.
He's got his hands connected. Looks like he's going to be able to, if he can get his hips in, there he's going to jump over the top. I think he would do what we call like the John Jones, but great exchange, get his hips out. Wow. Great defense there for Shaaban. I mean, this is really some incredible takedown defense.
And urgency as well, because surely with 1 minute left, if that had got to the mat, and this is a close round, you finish on top, the judges want to swing it one way or the other, that could potentially go the way of Topuz. So excellent moment there for Shaaban. Oh! Clean 1-2.
Yep.
What a fight, Frank.
No, this is great.
Oh, and the left hand.
Oh, that was a nice shot. See there, he countered with a shot. They're much better, more effective, and that's what, you know, Shaaban is open to. When he comes in on a straight line, kind of tall, but it works out for him because he throws the knees, and Topuz hasn't made him pay for it, but there.
Final 15 seconds now. Oh, looking for the takedown. Good hips once again from Shaaban. Great frame. 10 seconds now. This looks like this will go to the judges.
That was a great fight.
And what an experience for them. As far as taking away the experience of that moment, 5 rounds in front of this crowd against such tough opposition, Frank. And it really was a story of two sides almost. The first 2 rounds, we were dazzled by the footwork, the movement, the output from Shaaban, the timing. Then Topuz built and grew into the fight, got more success. Rounds 3 and 4 for me. I would give those to Topuz, taking it 2 and 2 on our imaginary scorecards going into this 5th and final round. And for me, maybe just the bigger, cleaner shots were Topuz in that 5th round, but razor thin, right?
Yeah, right there. Look at that 1-2 piece right there. Definitely some shots landed that were much more prolific. I think consistently throughout rounds 3, 4, and 5 for Topuz. Up until that point, a lot of the shots that landed that gave us that ooh factor where you saw the hard rock that was implemented by Shaaban on Topuz, whose head got rocked a couple times there in the 1st and 2nd round. But I think that I definitely tell 2 stories. First part of the fight, Shaaban's footwork and his knees and hand combinations and his takedown defense was stellar throughout the whole fight. But Topuz actually was able to start to way through it, landed some great some kicks off the backside, was able to accomplish some takedowns, which if he could take down Shaaban, he's not going to have that hard of a time probably for the next couple of years of his career.
Wow. And we talked about the amazing fact that Shaaban is 20 years old and at this dizzy height already, but also flip the coin, 34 years. Sometimes people think that's you're almost out of the game by then, whereas Lee has proved he deserves to be here, he deserves to be fighting this sort of competition. But has he done enough? We will find out. Andrei Novotny has got the scores. Let's hand it to him right now. Who will be the Octagon Challenge Season 1 finale champion?
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds, this bout goes to the judges. So let's see how the judges score this fight. 49-46, 48-47, and 49-46, all for the winner. And the new Octagon Challenge champion is coming from the blue corner, Selim Lee Topuz.
Ich stehe hier mit dem Sieger der ersten deutschen Octagon Challenge, Selim Lee Topuz. Herzlichen Glückwunsch!
Vielen Dank, Leute. An erster Stelle danke an Frankfurt. Danke an Octagon, dass sie sowas zusammengestellt haben. Das geht jetzt sogar bis nach Österreich. Das schaut sich jeder an. Und so viele Fans, glaube ich, hat Deutschland selten zusammengebracht, soweit ich weiß. Und ich bin stolz drauf, der Erste sein zu können, der diesen Gürtel tragen darf. Und noch was an Hassan. Hassan, super Kämpfer. Der hat 3 Kämpfe gemacht, hat sich von niemandem zurückgezogen. Eigentlich verdient er einen extra Gürtel für die dicksten Eier. Hat auch am Anfang gesagt, das stimmt auch. Und er hat eigentlich 4 Kämpfe gehabt. Er hat noch einen inoffiziellen Kampf gehabt in der Kantine. Dieser Mann hat alles gekämpft, was geht. Ich bin halt erfahren, aber wie man sieht, war es für mich auch knapp. Bin ich ehrlich, da brauche ich jetzt nicht zu lügen. Mir fehlen noch 3 Runden im Kopf. In der ersten war ich plötzlich in der 4. Ich habe keine Ahnung, was dazwischen passiert ist. Wirklich, ich habe keine Ahnung. Ich kann mich nur an 3 Runden erinnern, aber es waren 5, oder? Siehst du, 2 Runden fehlen mir.
Okay, first of all, he's thanking the crowd, he's thanking his opponent Hassan. Hassan, sehr guter Kampf, wirklich stabil gemacht. Ihr habt alles abgebrannt, was ihr hier in der Reserve hattet. Klasse gemacht hier. Was sind deine Worte hier abschließend zum Kampf? Erzähl.
Also Leute, ich habe alles gegeben.
Yeah.
Natürlich hätte ich mir den Sieg gewünscht und ich hätte am Ende der Runde auch mehr tun müssen, mehr aktiver sein. Ich weiß, ich werde an mir arbeiten und werde einfach stärker zurückkommen.
So he says he's grateful for the fight. Unfortunately, it wasn't his day, but he's going to work on himself and he's going to come back even stronger.
Ich will jetzt einmal hören, einen richtigen lauten Applaus für mich und Selim Topuz.
Absolut verdient! Absolut verdient, meine Damen und Herren! Hassan. Selim, ich brauche dich mal ganz kurz. Yes. Selim, jetzt wo der Gürtel dir gehört, du hast ihn hier hart erarbeitet, du hast die ganzen Strapazen über die Octagon Challenge, die einzelnen Challenges, die einzelnen Matches, du hast dich qualifiziert und hast abgeliefert. Ich würde sagen, bei Octagon hast du jetzt auf jeden Fall einen festen Platz. Wir sehen dich hoffentlich bald wieder. Was sind deine Pläne für die nächste Zeit in deiner MMA-Laufbahn?
Also, jetzt brauche ich mal eine Pause, weil das war eine harte Woche. Die Challenges, die Kämpfe, die Leute. Und danach möchte ich wirklich mein Bestes zeigen und zu den Nummer 1 gehören bei Octagon. In meiner Gewichtsklasse, muss noch viel lernen, habe viele Fehler gemacht heute. Wie gesagt, ich kann mich an 3 Runden nicht erinnern. Ich war in der ersten und auf einmal in der 4. und ich dachte, die verarschen mich. Aber was habe ich 2 Runden gemacht? Ich weiß es nicht einmal. Aber das war ein guter Schlag von Hassan wahrscheinlich. Aber wie gesagt, man wird mich öfters sehen und man wird meinen Namen kennenlernen. Das verspreche ich euch.
So he's going to say we're going to see him very often times in the octagon cage. He set his place now for the official first Octagon Challenge winner. He's a force to be reckoned with. Thank you to Frankfurt, and we're gonna look forward to see you again here in the cage. Selim Lee Topuz! Herzlichen Glückwunsch zum Sieg der ersten Octagon Challenge.
Oktagon se naplno řítí do Brna. Poprvé do největší haly a s plnou podporou fanoušků. A když do Brna a s fanoušky, tak v plné parádě. Těšit se můžete doslova na megazápas. Bitvu o titul střední váhy. První titulová obhajoba čeká Patrika Kinsla. V souboji o pás šampiona se mu postaví dvojka střední váhy.
I would love to challenge this man for his belt.
Dakila King, Alex Ohoré.
And I can get him.
Přinášíme novou show. Po projektu X a projektu Y přichází projekt Nathan versus Adam a neb z ostrova do klece. Bojovali proti sobě v nejtvrdší reality show na světě. Teď se proti sobě utkají v nejtvrdším sportu na světě.
Keď som sa v živote nikdy nebil, tak idem úplne od základov. Podľa mňa teraz si naozaj siahne takéto absolútne dno a som zvedavý sám, ako s tým popasujem. Ale extrémne sa na to teším.
Tenhle zápas pro mě znamená neskutečnou výzvu. Kdo nebyl na ostrově, si nedokáže představit vůbec, o co šlo, takže bylo jasný, že to musíme dohrát doma.
Adanko, dobre sa najedz, lebo budeš potrebovať veľa síl na mňa.
Brno, Winning Group Arena, 17.9. Lístky již v prodeji na ticketportal.cz.